Wow, check out the finished result. We're really happy with it. Hi guys, today's going to be really exciting. We're going to finish lining the van with Altro flooring and we're going to be fitting the lights.
Here we're just going to be tracing around the rubber matting that came with the van originally. This will give us a rough outline on the ply that we can then cut out to get the shape for the floor.
We then used this funky piece of equipment, which is a jigsaw. We cut along the line that we drew and we cut a little bit wider in some places so we could trim it down if we needed to. We then test fitted this ply and put it back into the van.
So far guys, we've taken the original rubber floor mat out, we've put on we've got some 9mm ply here, and then we've traced around it so we can get the outline of where we want to go on the floor. It didn't fit in a few places, like at the back step, so we put the step on once we got the floor in, and then we've drawn a nice line there to get that line here. We're left with this side here, which is where the original step would be. We're not going to be using the step in this van on this side because we're going to have full height units on this side. So we just want to maximise the floor space. So we've got that nice space in the cupboards. So we're just going to make a nice outline with a bit of cardboard aided design, and then we can put it onto the other bit of ply and fill in this gap. We'll show you what it's like in a minute.
We cut a little bit wide here, so we're just making a template so we can chop some wood to fill the gap.
What are you doing then, Han?
Just tracing around the ply onto the floor. So we've just put some silver foil insulation, which we've attached with spray adhesive glue on the floor. The floor is one of the main places you can lose heat from, and we didn't want to do too much height in the van, so we've opted for a thin silver foil insulation, which isn't too thick. Some Altro flooring, which is heavy duty lino floor. I'll link this in the description of the video. So we've then traced around the plywood, as you can see, and we've noted where we're going to cut a little bit wider, so when we attach it to the floor in the van we can cut it to shape.
The Altro floor that we're cutting here is super heavy duty and really hard to cut. There's a couple options of how you can cut this. So you can either use some hooked Stanley blades, which are the pointy ones, and go around with those against the floor, or you can opt for what we did, which is using some heavy duty scissors. We just find this a bit easier, so you can be a bit more accurate with it, so you can get a bit of a neater finish at the end. The original rear step goes all the way down to the metal floor, so with us adding on the 9mm ply, it's obviously raised up the floor a bit, so we're just going to trim this off the step so it lays flush with the rear flooring, and then we can tuck it underneath. So to stick the floor down, which I'm using some contact adhesive, the same as what you used to glue the carpet down earlier on in the build series. Around the edges next to the carpet, we don't want to be getting loads of spray adhesives on that, so we've got some in a tin so we can paint it on around the edges. Works exactly the same as on the carpet. You put some on the wooden floor, some on the actual lino itself, and then you can let it dry a little bit and then they'll stick together. We're going to start at the front of the van and then slowly working back. So we get the nice edges on the front section and then slowly work backwards, and we'll show you that in a minute.
Now we have fully lined the van, it's time to get the lights in.
So here we've just got some cheap flush mounted LED lights. These will be going in the holes that already come pre-drilled in the pop top roof. If you're fitting them in a standard roof, so you've got the original wooden roof, a hole saw works really well to get that nice round hole that you need. These ones here, they come with some clips on them, like plugs. You can just chop those off and we're going to be adding some bullet connectors on that we've just crimped onto the end of the wires here. We're using the male bullet connectors on these because they won't have any power going into them. It's just the safest way to do it. And then you want the female ones on the ones in the roof. So we wired these in parallel, so you just wire both the lives together and then both the earths together, and they just loop back around in a circuit, giving every light power and earth. I'm just plugging the lights in now using the bullet connectors that we've just added on. So I'm just connecting up on the LED lights. There's a plain white wire and there's a white wire with a black stripe. The one with a black stripe is the earth wire, so we're just connecting that up to the brown one in our wiring, which is the earth one, and then the white one which is connecting to the blue ones, which is going to be our live wires. And then we can just tuck the wires up into the roof nicely, and then we'll plug them into place.
So the van's now fully lined and has lighting. We're so happy to finally be seeing some progress with it. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.